Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are going to be talking about overcoming morning fatigue because we, a lot of times, wake up super tired. The information that is being presented comes from an article by Dr. Jocker on morning fatigue, the causes, and the 7 steps of enhancing energy. There could be lots of questions during the information that's presented, and Dr. Justine is here and available. You can text her at 647-987-9355. I wanted to welcome Dr. Justine and Dr. Udani. So Dr. Justine is our primary chiropractor here at Justine Blainey Wellness Center and the owner. She is the leader of our wonderful and amazing healthcare team, and she thoroughly believes that everyone deserves a healthcare team that focuses on prevention, optimal health, and open communication. And Dr. Udani is here with us. She's our naturopathic doctor here at Justine Blainey Wellness Center. She is extremely passionate in women's health and digestive issues, chronic pain, stress, and skin conditions. Please help me welcome both Dr. Justine and Dr. Udani.
And today we're going to talk about morning fatigue. So I'm sure basically all of us here can say, yes, that's been me. And what are some of the causes and the 7 steps to enhancing your energy so that you don't get this morning slump, the fatigue that's going to go ruin your whole day. So why is this so important? It's because when you're tired, it really affects how you work, right? And how you think, how you talk to people, how you're driving. Because when you have that brain fog, I call it brain fog because you feel so foggy that it really affects how your brain functions. So our brain needs a good night's rest, or just that rest and get good food to make sure it's functioning properly. And if it's not, you're going to get that, you feel tired. It's hard for you to remember things. Like sometimes I'll go upstairs and I forgot why I'm here, I don't remember at all. Or I'll have my phone in my hand and I'm looking for my phone, So these things can be signs of some kind of fatigue or tiredness, and it really affects your brain, like how it's firing. So you might have memory issues, you might just feel really irritable when you're driving. So this is why we're going to talk more about this and how we can help you with, helping with your fatigue. So what are some causes of morning fatigue? So number 1 is, for the most part, is poor sleep and disrupted sleep. So this is where, especially if you've done shift work or you're kind of tossing and turning in bed, that's not good quality sleep, right? So that's a cause of waking up really tired. Then there's also blood sugar problems. So this is where you feel really hungry or really cranky, and that can cause fatigue as well. Then there's something called HPA Axis dysfunction. So this is really common a lot in women. I see with dealing with burnout, they have a lot of fatigue, and this is because of this dysfunction. You could also have potentially hypothyroidism. So we'll talk about what that means. Mitochondria dysfunction. So the mitochondria is, think about it like the powerhouse of the cell. So it's what produces your energy. And sometimes when it's too tired or you don't have a lot of it, you can cause fatigueness too. And of course, we can't forget dehydration. And, when you're just kind of staying in one spot, not moving your body, it can cause fatigue as well. So the circadian rhythm, you might have heard about this. This is think about it as like your internal body clock. This is when you feel sleepy at nighttime and then you feel awake in the morning. But what happens is if this is disrupted, let's say you're watching a movie until like 1 or 2 a.m. or you went and you saw some family and you got home late, this rhythm gets disrupted. So then you end up sleeping in, and then the next day you end up going to sleep later again. So this is when this is disrupted. What happens is you're just not having that good quality sleep. The ideal sleep, I'm sure Dr. Justine will agree, is around like 10 p.m. until about 7 or 8 a.m. So you need about 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. And what do I mean by good quality? This is the sleep that you fall asleep and you wake up fully refreshed and you're not tossing or turning, or you're not waking up in the middle of the night. So all of this, if you're experiencing this, this could mean that your circadian rhythm is disrupted. And it's linked to a lot of fatigue, a lot of sleep issues, and something that if you are feeling like it, come talk to us and figure out what's really going on here. And the next one is about blood sugar. So I'll give you a story about what happened to me one time. I had a big meal, and literally the hour later, I had to sleep. I was so tired, and I couldn't focus. I think I had some patients that I was seeing, and it was just so difficult for me to focus. I felt very tired. And this is because if your blood sugar is spiking up, you're gonna get an insulin, that's a hormone spike, to manage that blood sugar. Usually in a normal, healthy person, it's not super high, it's very gentle. But if you're having trouble with blood sugar, it can be extremely, fast, and it'll spike up and down very quickly. And it's the down that makes you feel really, really tired. So what did I do? I completely changed my diet. I cut down a lot of my sweets. I increased more of my fiber, increased my protein, so that I wasn't getting this crazy spike down. And that really helped me. So there are definitely blood sugar imbalances that if you feel like this is one of the things. Some of the other symptoms is that you might feel hangry a lot, cranky. You might have some memory, trouble recalling things. So these are all potential signs. And of course, you might get cravings too. So if you're craving sugar or the bread or the pastas, there is a potential for you to have some blood sugar imbalances. So this is where you want to get tested and see what's going on. Come talk to one of us, myself or Sabine, our holistic nutritionist, to see, can we do something for this? Can we help you balance your blood sugar? And the other one is, of course, that can cause fatigue, is stress, right? There is so much stress that's going around, especially with the pandemic. All of us, I'm sure Dr. Justine will agree to, we've had almost a year and a half of this constant wave of, the pandemic stress, the worry, and that takes a toll on our body, especially working from home too. We're in one position all the time. That takes a huge toll in our body physically and also mentally. And a lot of women, because we are like the caretakers of the family, we run the world, right? We do multiple things all at once. We can experience burnout a lot quicker because of that too. And this is where we want to see, where is this dysregulation happening and how can we support your body so that way you're not getting signs of burnout, and how can we manage your stress so that it's doable and it's optimal for you. So this diagram here shows you really all the organs that in our body that are used when we're stressed. So the brain sends signals to our adrenal glands. So think of those as these really tiny glands that sit on top of your kidneys. So they're the ones that produce our stress hormones, our adrenaline, to make sure that we're working fine. But over time, what happens is these guys get tired because, you're producing so much, and that can cause a lot of dysregulation. And, this is why I love educating my patients, because I love explaining to them what's going on and what are some things you can do to kind of make yourself feel better and get back to normal.
You can see the HPA axis on that, how your body's connecting from your hypothalamus, from your brain to your pituitary gland, coming down and affecting that cortisol response. So if we are waking up tired, and you think you got a good night's sleep, you want to get your cortisol tested, and you can get that tested with Dr. Udani. She can do the hormone testing to see if there's an imbalance there, and help to look at that HPA axis to see, okay, what's happening? Why is your body not waking up with the energy you deserve, or you're not managing your stress? So Dr. Udani goes through stress management techniques in order to calm down that body and make sure that we can actually not just lay down, but actually truly rest. And the difference. If you're telling me, well, I was laying there for 8 hours, but I still woke up tired, then you weren't actually resting. Your body was still in that overdrive. It was still revving, even though you were physically laying down. That doesn't mean you were mentally, emotionally, spiritually slowing down. And I know that sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night, I got to do this, like I got this list in my head And it means my brain wasn't resting, even if my physical body was resting. And so to go through those stress relieving techniques, you want to do that with Dr. Udani.
Absolutely. And I'll even add that acupuncture is wonderful for sleep. If you're having trouble with sleep, I've had many patients that have fallen asleep and started snoring in my office. And, I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted you to, experience. It's perfect because it can be very relaxing and, good for reducing stress. And let's move on to hypothyroidism. So thyroid organ, if you think about the base of your neck, this is where it is. And it is the master organ for your metabolism. So how much of weight you're losing, your energy, all of that is determined by the thyroid hormone. And what happens is sometimes the thyroid is it's not working as well. So you can get hypothyroid symptoms, so underactive thyroid symptoms. So these can be things like cold hands and feet. You feel really tired. You can have fluid retention, skin changes, dry hair, reduced libido, poor memory, sometimes like depression as well, and slower heart rate and tingling in your hands as well. So what I always say is if you are experiencing these symptoms, then there are very extensive lab testing that you could do so the doctor would just test like one marker, but then there's actually like 4 markers that can see how your thyroid is doing. So it's way more in depth, and I usually order that for my patients that I suspect have some kind of thyroid issues, because it's important to kind of see how your thyroid levels are before we do any supplementation or any kind of lifestyle changes. That way we know we're doing enough for you. So these are some of the symptoms to look out for to see, hey, do I have potentially an underactive thyroid? And it's actually really, really common in women. We experience a lot of hypothyroidism, and I'm noticing, Dr. Justine, that it's younger and younger now. Like I had a patient that was 22 years old that have an underactive thyroid. So it's like getting younger and younger. So it's important to make sure what's going on, figure out what's going on.
I know for me, some of the things that happened that were thyroid related when I was under extreme stress is I lost a huge amount of hair. And then I knew that was related. Or when I was having concerns with menses, it wasn't just about taking some anti-inflammatories to affect with menses or go on the pill to help with menses, but it was looking at the thyroid to say, okay, what's happening with my hormones overall?
Exactly. And like if you're pregnant, you really want to make sure your thyroid hormone is optimal, because that's what you need. That's what the baby uses to grow as well. So this is where, you got to make sure it's going well, especially if you're pregnant. So these are things we'll talk about, and we'll have a conversation, in our visits. And the other one, so this little bean-shaped guy is the mitochondria. So think of them as these little machines in all of our cells that are producing so much energy. So with fatigue and morning fatigue, what would happen is if these guys aren't working as well, you'll experience more fatigue, because you need their energy to move and to work out and to think properly. So some factors that can cause this dysfunction is things like, inadequate nutrition, so poor nutrition. You might be exposed to certain toxins, so heavy metals, could be bacteria, viruses. Diet can play a lot with this too. There's genetic factors as well, but just because it's genetic doesn't mean it's a death sentence, right? Genetics just load the trigger. It's a lifestyle and other things that pull the trigger. But so this is another thing to think about if you're feeling really tired, is we want to boost mitochondria function. We want to boost it, keep it going. Believe it or not, the more you work out, the more of these mitochondria you produce in your cells, because our body is so resilient, it's so adaptable. So this is something to think about as well as a potential cause of your fatigue.
All right. So yes, we do wake up sometimes, and we know we're just so tired, even though we were laying down for 6 to 8 hours or 9 hours, or sometimes even 10 hours, but we still wake up feeling tired, going for the Tims, going for the sugar, the coffee, the muffin, the English muffin, we're trying to get something to just give us that little quick boost because we haven't looked at the long-term approach. And the quick fixes never fix. All right. They're never long-term great solutions. So today we're going to talk about 6 steps to increase your energy, to improve that morning start. And it's not about what you do in the morning, it's what you did to prepare before, and having that sort of prep system. So it even starts for me, I always pick my clothes out the night before. Like, it's part of my routine. It's something I do not have to think about in the morning. I've checked the weather. I know my clothes for the morning, and I know my workout clothes as well. Like, it's already pre-planned. It's not something going through my mind. Anything that I need to download, like with that stress, I've written it out, create a plan so that I have a plan for the morning and I don't have to work on that plan while I'm sleeping. And that definitely makes a big difference. And having a notepad pen beside my bed, because if I do wake up and something's going through my brain, I write it down, download it. Some people will put it in their phone, although I don't recommend having your phone near your head when you're sleeping, but you want to have it so that you can download it and shut your brain off. And that goes to some of these 6 steps. We need a good sleep, and that's preparation for a good sleep as well. We need that gratitude prayer. We need that hydration, that good water, good quality water, right amount of water. Our body needs to move. We need the sun, and we need an anti-inflammatory nutrition plan. All of this happens before the morning you wake up tired. And I get you can't always work on all 6 at once, but if you attack one each week, in 6 weeks, you can make a massive change to be waking up and you're ready to roll. You're ready to go. And so that's what we want to be talking about today. So if we start with step 1, we need that good sleep. Hitting the snooze button does not help us. And if you are hitting the snooze button, put in those rolls for your cervical curve. That'll help with your circulation, help that nervous system get in the right alignment to start your day. But hitting the snooze button usually means you're just more tired. You actually don't feel better. You're just delaying the inevitable, and you actually wake up with less energy because you hit that snooze button. Your productivity tends to plummet. Your sleep cycle gets all screwed up, and you start to have weird dreams at times. So the snooze button is sometimes just saying, like, this is just a hard no. I don't care how tired I am. I will sleep later. I'll have a 10-minute nap later. But that actual 10 minutes doesn't make a difference. I've talked to some people, they say, well, I hit the snooze and I do the horizontal prayer time. I question that at times. Certainly, maybe on the weekends it's going to work. Horizontal meditation time in the morning, but usually that's just an excuse. So find a way to just say no, or make it so that it's it's not a Monday to Friday thing. Or I don't set an alarm on the weekends, so that my body can naturally choose the wake up time. But like Dr. Udani said, for our sleep, we need that routine. We need that consistent routine. And so for me, I keep this up on holidays too. I'm typically a 10:30 to 4:30, 10:30 to 5 a.m. Sleeper. So that means on holidays, 10:30, my body is starting to crash. My husband's a night person, but on holidays, I might make it to 11. But after that, I'm useless anyway. I'm not involved in the conversation or the card game or whatever it is. I'm tuning out. So you may change on holidays, on weekends by half an hour to an hour. But when you make that change by greater than an hour, it's affecting what Dr. Udani said, that circadian rhythm, just like as if you traveled and you changed time zones. And it affects your quality of sleep much later and affects that like morning fatigue.
I'll even add to that, Dr. Justine, about reducing your coffee, your caffeine before you do go to sleep. Like at least 6 hours before, you want to stop drinking coffee.
Or anything with a caffeine, and that includes chocolate. Okay. Sometimes I hear about that chocolate treat right before bed, but that can also affect your quality sleep. Anything with a high sugar right before bed, or caffeine right before bed. So looking at the healthier teas like a peppermint tea or chamomile tea, or berry tea right before bed would be a lot healthier if you want that sort of warm feeling, fuzzy feeling in your belly that can affect your sleep and improve your sleep. The number 2 is gratitude and prayer. This gives us more optimism, more energy for the day. And you can go to bed with gratitude, prayer, meditation, but you can wake up with that positive mood. It helps us feel like we can attack the day and be more compassionate, focus on less like things you need, but focus on the things you already have. So that satisfaction in life. So some of the things we can do this is the gratitude journal before bed or orally out loud. And even if you're alone, just speaking out loud the things that we're grateful for. It's like it comes out, but it also then comes back in through your ears, makes that huge difference. Looking into the mirror and just saying, I'm grateful. I love myself. I love you. I love my family. But to talk to yourself in the mirror can make a big difference. And to talk about, like, who am I going to say thanks to tomorrow? Who am I going to compliment tomorrow? To make it an active goal is that every day you're putting out compliments and gratefulness to others in an active way orally. Helps them feel better, but helps you feel better and creates that energy to silence that negativity. If we go into number 3, we got to get that water in our system, whether it's lemon water, berry water, cucumber water. We want to have a plan for our water. So at times, maybe you're filling up 3 water bottles to start your day. You've thought about how much water you need today, and you've created a plan. By 10 a.m., I have to have this much. By noon, I have to have this much. If it hits 5 o'clock and you haven't had it, you're going to get active at it. Being aware that if you are in a profession where you have to wear a mask all the time, to have water breaks. Like, we need a plan or a straw, like ways to make it easier to get that water in our bodies, because our body needs that for lymphatic drainage, needs that for energy. Number 4 is we gotta move, and whether it's just little bounces or I love with the wobble cushion, just getting that movement side to side. That helps with lymphatic drainage on your wobble cushion, forwards and back. It's sometimes 2 or 3 minutes just to increase that circulation through the body, help with the nerve flow, help with getting the muscles moving. Sometimes you don't have time for the 45-minute hour exercise program, but you have time to even just get that 5-minute walk. Even if you walk in your PJs, throw on a jacket and walk in your PJs, nobody cares. Just get out moving. Or it's just walk around your garden in the backyard in your PJs. Nobody's seeing you. You're just getting your body moving, enjoying nature, or barefoot walking on the earth, grounding would be great. But our body needs that movement time and the exercise time, which is when you're a little more exertion, you are going to sweat. But starting your morning with some movement is key. So a plan before you go to bed. What is the food tomorrow? You're not having to think about lunches or snacking or your water or your clothes that you're going to wear. There's an action plan already pre-programmed, so you don't have to think about it. You're not trying to rush through it. It's a system, and that includes movement every single morning. So for me, it's like I have a plant outside that doesn't, that don't have watering systems. So part of my movement is it's getting out and watering that plant, deadheading that plant right now, and it's getting out to nature and getting my body moving. So I'm excited and ready for my day. Number 5 is we need the sun. Our body needs the sun. So in the morning, that helps that hormonal balance. We all know that if we watch a sunrise or a sunset, it's so beautiful. It creates that fuzzy, good feeling inside of us. So it helps the hormonal balance. And we know that as we start to see that morning sun, that helps those neurotransmitters. That helps that good feeling that we need. And during the day, we need that vitamin D. That helps our energy. That helps our body function, for the immune system, for all parts of the body. We need to get some pure sunlight. That's why we see seasonal affective disorder, where people in the winter are not getting enough sun. And Dr. Udani's heat lamp can help you if you suffer from that those winter blues or that winter loss of energy. But getting the sun in the middle of the day, getting out for that 5-minute walk on your lunch break or whatever break that you have versus sitting at your desk or staying inside. If you have that 15-minute break, get out for 5 minutes of it even to get the sun directly on your skin. And in the evening, watching the sun come down or being a part of to see that change can help improve our energy, improve our body to detox. So like I work in an environment where I don't have any windows. So I have to talk to myself that every day is a great day. Just because I can't see the weather, can't see the sun, I'm going to be talking to myself about the sun and then actively on my lunch breaks, making sure I get time outside. And that's even in the winter, like there's sun in the winter. So this isn't just something about the sun, for 6 months of the year, it's 12 months of the year that we need that sun time. And number 6, we need those anti-inflammatory foods. We need to have those healthier foods that go good fats, avocado seeds, almonds, the healthy olive oils. And we're looking towards adding olives and those grass-fed, free-range, healthy proteins. We're adding the greens and trying to get half your plate or the size of your hand, 2 to 3 times a day in those healthy greens on your plate. And of course, avoiding those inflammatory foods, the ones that make you have like Dr. Udani talked about, those peaks and sharp drops in energy. I used to be guilty of this. I loved muffins. There was something about the fuzzy feeling of a muffin, and yet normally it would make me feel good for 5 minutes, and then 15 minutes later I'm craving food and I'm craving for energy again versus a handful of healthy seeds or healthy nuts or almonds. So looking towards the fact that different pro-inflammatory foods like grains, muffins, breads, donuts, what is my mom like? Tea biscuits. All of these things make us feel, pastas actually lower our energy and affect our energy in the morning. So we want to avoid those foods before we go to bed, but also avoid those foods in the mornings. The sodas, the pops, the fake sugars. We want to be really aware of these foods that increase inflammation and lower our energy, the ones we're having before that affect our wake up time in the morning. And so we have numerous talks already on anti-inflammatory foods. Please go back to those because they do make a difference, our nutrition. So we went through 6 steps. I'm just going to outline those 6 steps again. We talked about getting a good sleep, and we have talks on that good sleep. We talked about gratefulness and prayer, the preparation before you go to bed and when you wake up. We talked about lots of water the days before, the months before. We talked about getting our bodies moving and having a routine, a plan for your exercise program, for your stretching program, as well as just gentle movements in the mornings. We talked about getting that sunlight, that vitamin D. Get your vitamin D tested with Dr. Udani. How do you know you're getting enough? I know that in the winter, many of us need to supplement more because I know I don't get enough sunlight in the winter. I am not out daily, an hour a day in the winter. So take a look, what is that plan for you? And that anti-inflammatory diet as number 6. If you have questions, see Dr. Udani. She is going to be able to help you create the action plan you need and talk about supplements like this to find the right supplements for you. So Dr. Udani, this is one example of Dr. Jocker's supplements for energy, but in the office we also have different like adrenal gland supplements, energy supplements. So how do you customize these for your patients?
Absolutely. So it's really important to have a customized plan for you because you're an individual, you're unique compared to someone else. So when it comes to supplements that can help with fatigue, there's so many out there. So that's why it's really important to for us to see what is your lifestyle like, what is your day-to-day like, what is your sleep like, how bad is your fatigue, what kind of Right, so there's so many different adaptogens that are on the market and in nature. So you got to figure out what is the right one for you, and that's where I come in. That's where I can help you see where are you in terms of fatigue. That way we can help you figure out just the right product for you, or it might not even be a product. You might just need that accountability, that coaching support to to improve your sleep, like Dr. Justine mentioned, and all the other things. So that's what we're here as a team to support you and to figure out what's the right steps for you. So the other one is, so if you are suspecting some thyroid issues, I always say do the blood work first. Know your numbers, know your levels first before you try to supplement with things, try to self-medicate, because these can be expensive, and you might not need this certain supplement. So this is what Dr. Jocker recommends, right? We are honoring his presentations. We have it here, but that doesn't mean you need this supplement for you. This is where come and speak to a professional, healthcare professional in our team. That way we can walk you through what you really need.
And definitely, as you're looking towards energy, we talked about an anti-inflammatory diet, and the keto diet's taken a huge sort of like, it's becoming very popular, but it does affect your energy. And I follow a keto diet, and it's made a huge difference for me. And I've tried all sorts of things, but that's not meaning that it's good for everybody. So you want to customize your diet and find the right one for your hormonal balance. And that's why we see a naturopath. And there are different supplements like Keto Edge can help you stay in ketosis. I found them to be very helpful, but you also don't want to be dependent on those. And even if you follow a keto diet, you need a break. So when I was on holidays, I had a lot more fruit than I usually do, but it didn't mean I was going for sweets. When they had, I think it was blueberry pie, I still didn't have blueberry pie with a gluten crust because I don't eat gluten, and I knew it was full of sugar. But I would mean that I had cherries and, apples, and I had other fruits. And so it would take me out of ketosis, but in a healthy way. So when we're doing a keto diet, it does increase your energy, but it takes time to go through it. It's not always so easy at the very beginning. So please go back to some of our previous talks where we did talk a lot about the anti-inflammatory diet. There's one completely on a ketosis and on ketogenic diet to learn more about how to do it, and especially doing it in a safe way, and making sure it's the right choice for you, because you don't want to lose a bunch of weight and then put it all back on, or you don't want to have this whole detox dump and feel like crap. And then your body doesn't know how to deal with those toxins and create a disease process. So every time it's super important to make sure you have the coaching along the way. And Dr. Udani and our holistic nutritionist Sabine are amazing at this. So ask questions first in order to help you. We do know that when you're low energy, you need your nervous system, your master control system, to be functioning well. And chiropractors work with the spine and the nervous system to help that brain connect to all parts of your body. And if it's being shut off by subluxations, you just can't be your best. Hands down, stop, period, right there. So you have to have a spinal nervous system checkup. That doesn't mean everybody has a problem with the nervous system, but you have to have a checkup first. Now, chiropractors work with the spine and nervous system, but so do naturopaths. So does acupuncture. And you got to find the right method for you. And the best way to do that is to have an assessment. So come do a consultation. We do meet and greets with myself, with Dr. Udani, with our holistic nutritionist, with our acupuncturist, to find the right system for you, and also just the right meat. You need to find the doctor that you feel comfortable with, that you feel you can share with, that you can be authentic with, that you can complain to, and feel comfortable with that, I need to work on this, I need to work on that you're not embarrassed. So definitely we are here to help you. Chiropractors do specialize with the nervous system, but we work with the team, and I love our team. And that's the great news, that you often don't just pick one. Many of our patients work together. I work with Dr. Udani in order to help our patients get the overall best of both our brains, and both our healing hands for them to get the best care possible and be able to get options in basically a free way, things that you can make change. And it can be overwhelmed to make too many changes. So just start with one a week. And at the end of the week, you've made 50, at the end of the year, you've made 50 changes, and wow, you've got a new you. So that compounding effect, it works. Just one little step at a day, focus on one new thing every week. Stay tuned with us, do a review. We love you, and we look forward to being with you soon.
Have a good evening, everyone.